My name is Bill Fisher. In this demo we'll cover creating production art using Adobe Animate. Creating production art simply means adding backgrounds and characters until we have all of the assets that we need to start animating. I'm going to move this character over to make room for another one. To do that, I will lock all of the layers, unlock the folder that has the main chicken in it. I can choose Edit Multiple Frames. This allows me to move all of the three versions at the same time. These bars determine how many frames I can edit at the same time. Lock all of the layers except for the ones you want to move. I can do a select all and then click and drag all of them to here to make room for the other one. I could also scale up and down if I wanted to. When I'm finished, I'm going to lock this layer and collapse it. I'm going to create a new folder. I will call that the friend. And in this folder, I can start making new layers by inserting keyframes and starting to do a new design. Here's the friend. I made this design in a different file. I recommend you make your character design in the same file that you're already working in. But if you do have a graphic that you want to move from one file to another, we can simply choose the column of frames which make up that character and control click on any one of those frames, and we can copy the frames. Now I can go to the file where I want to paste those frames into. I already have a key frame set up for that, and control click on that frame and paste frames. And there is our new character. You can see that this top layer extended itself all the way across the timeline. I'm not going to worry about that right now. What I am going to do is collapse this folder that contains our friend layer and lock it. Now I'm going to insert a new background element behind the chickens but in front of the coop. So I'll choose the coop, choose a new layer. I'm going to call this Pecking Chickens. Let's insert a keyframe where we want that group of pecking chickens to appear. I've also created these pecking chickens in a different file. To move them into the file we're working in, I can choose them, and this time I'm going to copy the actual set of chickens instead of the frames. Then I can go to our file here, click on the keyframe that I've already made for them, and simply use paste in place to put them right where I copied them from. Now that they're in there, I think I'll move them a little bit to the left to get some overlap. That will provide some depth. I'll choose the pecking chickens name in the layer, and I'm going to apply a adjust color filter. I think that these need to blend into the background more, and this will allow that to happen as I desaturate, increase the brightness, and decrease the contrast. I think we need some more chickens, so I'm going to make another layer, call it Peking chickens 2. I'll insert a keyframe where I want them to be. This time I'm going to select the Peking chickens that I've already inserted. I'm going to copy them and select the keyframe for which I want to paste them, and this time I will paste in center. Now I can get the transform tool, hold the shift key down to keep their proportions, and find a place for them back here. I think I'll flip them, so modify, transform, flip horizontal, get a nice place for them. I want these chickens to blend into that far background, so I'll click my selector, choose them. I'll apply a layer effect, so I'll click on the Peking chickens 2 words in the layer. Under properties, I'm going to choose a tint this time. The tint color will be the adjacent color. After we chose the color, the properties skipped over to the dock tab. Just click back on the frame tab and you'll see your tint again. Now this tint seems a little bit strong. I can weaken it. I can slide this lever till I get something that I like. I think that the color is too strong, so I can choose a less saturated color and adjust the tint here. I may not want the friend and the other chickens to show up until a little bit later on the timeline. To do that, I can simply open the friend layer, select that column of keyframes. I can do that by clicking the top one, shift, clicking the bottom one, or I can simply click and drag the column. Let's move those to there. Collapse that and you'll see that chicken now shows up right there. I want to line up some other elements to this column, so I'm going to make a new layer above my camera layer. I'm going to call it markers. So I'll insert a keyframe where I want to place the marker, and while that keyframe is selected under properties, I can give that keyframe a name, and I'll call that friend shows up. With that finished, I'll close the friend layer and take the 2 keyframes that are the Peking chickens and Peking chickens 2, move those down until they line up with the marker. To keep the main chicken also visible in this scene, I'm going to open that folder. I'm going to choose a column in line with that marker right here for all of the layers that make up the main chicken. Once selected, I'll right click or control click, and I'm going to insert a frame, or in this case frames, because I have multiple columns selected. I'm not inserting a keyframe because I'm not changing anything. I'm just going to insert a frame. And there is my completed scene. Well, that wraps up the demo for today. Thanks for watching.